Good morning, students. Last class we discussed redox reaction. I think you understood redox reaction. Let us recap once again. What is redox reaction? Oxidation and reduction reaction found in a single reaction, we call them as redox reaction. So in a redox reaction, we can find oxidation reaction and reduction reaction. In a redox reaction, we can observe oxidation reaction and redox reaction. What is oxidation? Oxidation is the addition of oxygen to a substance. Whenever we found an addition of oxygen to a substance, we call such reaction as oxidation. Otherwise, we can explain with the hydrogen. That is, whenever we see a removal of hydrogen from a substance, it is also called oxidation reaction. Either the addition of oxygen or a removal of hydrogen. If the equation in terms of oxygen, we have to look whether there is an addition of oxygen or removal of oxygen. If the equation is in terms of hydrogen, we have to find out whether the equation is carried out by the removal of hydrogen or addition of hydrogen. Okay, move on to the reduction. Wherever there is an addition of hydrogen to a substance, we call them as reduction. Otherwise, there will be a removal of oxygen from a substance. Addition of hydrogen and removal of oxygen. So, opposite of oxidation is reduction reaction. Opposite of oxidation is reduction reaction. Addition of oxygen or removal of oxygen. Addition of hydrogen or removal of hydrogen. If there is an addition of oxygen, it is oxidation. If there is a removal of oxygen from a substance, then it is a reduction. If there is addition of hydrogen to a substance, it is reduction reaction. Removal of hydrogen from a substance, it is oxidation reaction. Now it is clear to you. We have discussed some examples. Once more, we can go through some other examples in this section. This equation I have mentioned earlier also. That is, hydrogen is added up to copper oxide to give copper and water. So in this reaction, we can find two types of reaction, that is reduction and oxidation. So we have said that whenever there is a removal of oxygen from a substance, then that reaction is a reduction. So look at the first equation. First compound is copper oxide. That means oxygen is there. So when we look into the product side, copper is alone. That means oxygen is removed from copper oxide. So what is taken place here? Removal of oxygen. What is removal of oxygen? That is reduction reaction. Second, so we have done the first one. Take the second element. This is hydrogen. When hydrogen is in the reactant part, it is alone. But it is in the product part, oxygen is added up. Oxygen is added up. That means hydrogen, when it is come to the product side, it becomes water by the addition of oxygen. What is addition of oxygen? It is oxidation. So in this reaction, it is a redox reaction. In this reaction, we can see one substance, there is a removal of oxygen taken place. Another substance, there is an addition of oxygen takes place. Removal of oxygen, we call them as reduction. Addition of oxygen, we call them as oxidation. Another example. Here, iron oxide reacted with hydrogen giving iron and water. It is a similar equation. Both are similar equation. It is an addition of hydrogen. Okay. So iron oxide is Fe3O4. When it comes to the product side, Fe alone, that means oxygen is removed. What is removal of oxygen? Reduction. In the second part, hydrogen. Hydrogen is changing into water, same as we see above. So there is an addition of oxygen to hydrogen. So what is addition of oxygen? Oxidation. So it's a reduction, oxidation reaction, that is a redox reaction. So in the above example and below examples are same or almost same. So we have to find out which is an oxidizing agent and which is a reducing agent, and which is reduced and which is oxidized. We know that the reduction takes place here. So it is the substance which is reduced. What is reduced? Iron oxide, Fe3O4. Then second one is hydrogen is only oxidized to water. So what is the substance oxidized? Hydrogen is the substance oxidized. So iron oxide is reduced and hydrogen is oxidized. So next one is which is the reducing agent and which is the oxidizing agent. Do you remember what is oxidizing agent and reducing agent? Oxidizing agent is the agent in which gives the oxygen to oxidize. Who is the substance which gives oxygen to oxidize? That substance is oxidizing agent. Here iron oxide is only giving oxygen to hydrogen to form water. So which is an oxidizing agent? Iron oxide. At the same time, hydrogen gets the oxygen from Fe3O4. So oxidizing agent is Fe3O4. Next is Fe3O4 is reducing into Fe. That means removes oxygen from Fe3O4. So who helps to remove? Hydrogen only getting or this oxygen to become the Fe3O4 to Fe. That means hydrogen takes this oxygen from Fe3O4. So who helps the Fe3O4 to reduce? Hydrogen. So it acts as a reducing agent.